Welcome to another Quantum Conversation, brought to you by AcousticHealth.com. I'm Loren Gailey, and I invite you to sit back as we enter the quantum realm, that space of the greater part of you. It is your connection to infinite possibilities, infinite potential, and infinite mastery. We're discussing two quantum healing tools. The lives of those who use these tools are showing remarkable improvements in many areas. So this discussion takes us to a conversation about how the physical body works. It gets scientific, and with this discussion is Annette Graucob, speaking for Boris Aranovich. Boris endorses the two products we are discussing because he's seen the changes and improvement in people's lives. And they are here to share some very interesting technology, really new earth technology. It is their passion to bring into the world. Let's welcome Boris and Annette. Hello, thank you both for being here.
Hello, thank you for having us.
Oh, hello, Lauren and all listeners. I'm so happy and grateful to be able to join you today and share my passion with you, which is to help people stretching and rejuvenating the body with easy and grace. Annette will be doing all the talking, but I'm here in the background, ready to answer any questions coming up. Thank you again, Lauren, for having us on the show.
Well, it is my honor to have you. We love to talk about new technologies. So I'm going to just let Annette and you do the speaking here. Well, this is interesting because you have a variety of products. Let's first start with the research that you've done with how the body works and how by working with this resonance, by vibratory rates, these frequencies, you are able to assist the body in healing.
Yeah, that's correct. And it all comes from innovations that Boris got either from Russia or invented himself, because he is an engineer and an educator and international lecturer and you name it. He has like 40 years of long experience in the alternative medicine field. So he knows a lot about these things. And as we said, his mission is really to help people create health and rejuvenation on their own. So therefore, we have these new quantum physics-based devices so people can really take charge of their own health and rejuvenation. And I think what you said is really important. If we begin to explain a little bit about what the body is, if we can define the body so we easier understand what these tools will do. So the body consists of primarily two systems and three structures. We have the biochemical system and we have the information system, where all organs and body parts have vibrations. So also the human body is made up by three structures. We have the information structure, we have the energetic structure, and we have the physical structure. And the most important structure is the information structure, because it controls so many things in our body. And the information system consists of super weak vibrations connecting to all organs and systems, reflecting and governing all the functions in the body. So, for example, it controls the biochemical processes in the body. And it's just really important to have the right information in the body. And if we have so, we really can be perfectly healthy, because in the beginning we were created to be perfectly healthy. And as the body's information system governs all biochemical processes, it normalizes the body on a cellular level, it contributes to cooperation between organs and systems, It strengthens the immune system and controls the nervous system, as well as the synthesis of hormones and other biological substances. So staying healthy by maintaining optimal function and balance in systems and organs is possible if you strengthen the body's information system. So that's why it's really, really crucial to have the right information in the body.
Okay, that's very interesting, talking about the systems, the biochemical system and the information system. And so then the energetic information and physical structures, you're primarily feeding it with information. And so that information, does it affect the energetic and the physical? Yes.
Yeah, and the physical, of course, because when we look at the causes, for example, of ill health and also of aging, so what most people now know is that the causes of ill health problems and aging comes from, in particular, stress, especially long-term stress. Even stressing for success can be incredibly hard for the body to deal with. I think it was a study released by researchers at Harvard Business School and Stanford University found that stress at work is just as damaging to a person's health as is secondhand smoke. So stress is really, really bad for you. And other factors that create health problems are negative environmental factors. I mean, we have toxins in our food, in the air, in the water, but also technogenic frequencies harm us. And something Boris is working a lot with is negative thoughts, to re-pattern mental patterns.
Mm-hmm.
So all these things cause both health problems and aging. And if we look at the body in this world that we're living in, the three major areas which usually become unbalanced and get stagnations and therefore cause disease are weakened blood vessels, a poor functioning spine, and too little of healthy microflora in the gut. But also really important to understand why we get sick is that usually also weaknesses occur in the body's regulatory system. And the regulatory system, that is the brain, the nervous system, and the hormone system. So illness begins with stress in some form. And stress causes tension in the inner organs. And when there is tension in the inner organs, there will be stagnation. And when there is stagnation, the development of microorganisms begin. And what then happens is that the body wants to fight these microorganisms, and that is what we experience as symptoms. And symptoms could be inflammation, infection, or even tumors. But it's only the body's way of limiting the damage and its way of trying to survive. So what we do with these tools is that if we work on an informational level, and if we remove stagnations, and we structure the body fluids, and we oxygenate and strengthen the body on a cellular level, the body is able to heal itself. Because the best doctor and the best physician is the body.
Mm-hmm. A lot of good things that you said there with these products. We can talk more too about negative thoughts and repatterning that. Really, it's
a whole new hour.
It is. It's a whole new hour because that's really important too. But that's where we really work on clearing out. That makes us realize the importance of the clearing work that we're all doing, because those negative thoughts and emotions, those are part of the information that is affecting the structure.
That is true. And also on a subconscious level. And Boris has a whole program on this particular subject because it's really, really important too. It's information, and information is what matters.
Let's talk now about the product. The one that's called Aquatone is quite amazing because of what it's doing with the water in our body. And that's always a very interesting subject. And then there's one for breathing as well, for those who may have asthma. And then this stretches out into the whole gamut, even weight control and anti-aging and less wrinkles. So let's talk a little bit about those products.
Yeah, they are amazing because they affect everything in the body. Let's begin a little bit talk about Aquatone. It's an invention made by Russian scientists who in 1995 discovered the electromagnetic resonance waves of water. And that led to the development of this therapeutic tool we call Aquatone. Why it works so well is because the body consists of, in average, 70% of water. We have, for example, 94% of water in our lymph, 83% of water in our kidneys. We have 80% of water in our lungs. We even have 22% of water in our bones. And we have so much water. So what happens is that when the water in all bodily cells and organs and tissues and systems are restructured to their correct frequencies, the body is able to heal much easier. I'm sorry. I'm sure you've heard of Dr. Mota.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And how he wrote this book and showed us all these pictures of structured and compared to unstructured water, how information and vibration given to water changes the water structure. Mm-hmm. So there we have like evidence on how intelligent water is an information carrier. So we could compare it to the molecules, for example, in a magnet compared to metal. In a magnet, the molecules are symmetrically ordered, and in metal, they're very chaotic. So what Aquatone does, it orders and structures the molecules so they're harmonized. And it harmonizes the blood, the lymph, the cells, the inner organs, the brain. So it operates like a tuning fork so that all biochemical processes are improved and organs and system functions are optimized. And when this happens, the body can heal and rejuvenate itself. Maybe we should just mention a little bit more detail what Aquatone does for the different systems. Something that is crucial for all of us is the immune system. And because the immune cells become more mobile and stronger in a structured environment when the stagnations are removed, structuring the inner environment also enables the production of healthy gut bacteria to increase dramatically. And people are becoming more and more aware of this fact that we do need a lot of healthy bacteria in our stomach, and not only for our stomach health, but also for our brain and our immune system. So healthy production of microflora is the prerequisite really for healing all disease, and especially for chronic disorders, because chronic disorders are the result of a combination of poorly functioning systems and organs. And Aquatone is a universal health tool which is able to improve any organ, including the brain, and also the production of healthy bacteria in the intestines. So it's able to treat all of these. And because behind poor functions of most organs and systems lie stagnations. And Aquatone is the best possible tool there is right now to remove stagnations. So for the immune system, it's absolutely beautiful. And also, if you want to talk a little bit about this important issue, which is having a healthy gut bacteria, we need to add probiotics, and high quality probiotics in sometimes very large amounts. But what most people don't understand is that these bacteria need to be able to stick onto the intestine's mucous membranes. And very many people have inflammation on the membranes, which makes it difficult for bacteria to adhere. So aquatone removes inflammation and enables probiotics to be sufficiently spread in all of the intestines. So that's really a little bit about how aquatone normalizes the immune system, but it also strengthens the hormone system, which is really important. It also normalizes the metabolism. And you use it on healing tissue, bone, and cartilage. I have so many experiences on myself and others where this has just been amazing results. As we mentioned, it's anti-inflammatory, but also anti-allergenic, and it improves the properties of blood and lymph. What we also can say about aquatone, which many people are interested in today, is rejuvenation. There was a study made at the pretty famous Karolinska Institute in Stockholm on how aquatone improves the skin. What happened was that they measured the production of fibroblast proliferation, or the increase of fibroblast in the skin. Fibroblast is a substance which is the precursors to collagen. So using aquatone on the skin rejuvenates the skin and re-moistures the skin. So it's anti-aging, it's anti-disease. It's just a remarkable device, and especially we have so many scientific studies. I think it's over 150 international scientific studies proving that it's very effective, in particularly for urinary problems, for arthritis, for ear, nose, throat problems, for breathing problems, cardiac problems, ulcers, skin and teeth problems. So there's a multitude of areas where aquatone really works well.
That is amazing, and I love that there's the scientific research that backs it up. It's global research.
Oh, yeah.
The results and the case studies coming in that actually speak to all of these points. We're going to talk a little bit about how we use the aquatone and some of those results that are coming in. This is a UHF resonance wave therapy. What are UHF resonance waves?
Well, they're really super weak waves. They are the same waves the body has when it's healthy. In technical terms, it's called, listen to this, 10⁻15 to 10⁻14 watts per squared centimeter. It's also called decimeter waves. They're really super weak waves. So what happens is they can only structure and they can only strengthen. So what you can never have is any side effects. You can never do too much. You can never harm the body. You can only structure it back to a harmonized state. So.
Okay. All right. And that was through the Russian scientific and medical research.
Yeah. And it's also used very much in Russian hospitals today. So they have come much further than many other Western countries when it comes to using these quantum physics tools. So they use it actually in hospitals and in clinics in Russia already.
That is wonderful. Okay, so what are we seeing as far as some of the results and these case studies? You mentioned chronic disease, debilitating disease.
Yeah, because when you harmonize the structures, the fluids in the body, the lymph, the blood, the cellular fluids, the body gets so strong it's able to heal itself. And when you have, for example, chronic issues, you have a multitude usually of systems that are weak. Mm-hmm. So it strengthens on a fundamental level, building the body up to a level where it's able to heal itself. Whether it be acute or chronic, of course, when it's chronic, you probably need more time. But the body does the healing, and the body does the healing in the time it wants to do it. So it can heal practically most things, really.
Okay. All right. So it's...
And there's a lot of case studies. There are so many research studies, and we have a lot of people, customers who told us wonderful results after having used aquatone. And also not to forget, I mean, we're talking about ill health or problems or or aging. But what if you're young and you're healthy? Do you need this aquatone? And I say, yeah, you do, because we live in a stressful environment, and stressful environments cause stagnations, whether you want it or not, eventually. And also, when we age, we automatically get more and more stagnation. So we need to remove these stagnations continually in order to maintain health. And also the body rejuvenates much easier when all the fluids are structured and the information and the biochemistry in the body flows optimally. So it's a perfect way of continuing being healthy and getting stronger and rejuvenate.
Yes, okay, that makes perfect sense. We are structuring the fluids in our body with this super weak wave, UHF resonance waves.
It's like if you have a mobile phone, I think it's like several thousand times weaker than those waves.
So, for example, if we are using the Aquatone device, we're going to talk in just a minute about exactly how we use it. You said use it on the skin. It's almost like you're protecting yourself. Your waves are in harmony, so cell phone waves and the electromagnetics can't affect it.
Your adaptation capacity increases immensely. You become much stronger. And if you're ill, you become stronger, and eventually you will heal. But if you're healthy, you get stronger and stronger. And also regarding, the nervous system, you can stand more stress eventually without, having all these reactions to stress. So
it's a beautiful, I don't want to use the word barrier to stress, but it really is. It's like it's raising the vibration. It's structuring the fluids in the body and removing stagnation. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And sometimes, you should use it for long term, because you will see the long term beautiful effects. But also if you have an acute situation, like I have family members who have problems with their heart, and I put Aquatone on to specific points and the problems were relieved. So you can use it for burns. I burned my finger on the oven yesterday. I put Aquatone on, and today I just have like a pink little mark left. And it's really amazing. So you can heal acute things, and you can work on chronic issues really well.
Great. All right. Let's talk about this then. You really use your intuition, place it directly on the body. How does that work?
Well, what you get when you get Aquatone is also a instruction manual. We have like 5 different general points where we put Aquatone just to keep us healthy. And they are on the second chakra, on the back of the neck, on the solar plexus, and thyroid. You can put them on the kidneys, very important. And then you use a general program. If you have an acute condition or pain somewhere, you use another program and you put it directly on that location where the problem is. And you can also use Aquatone, which is really important, is to detox the body. And you also get information on where do I put Aquatone on the body, with which program, for which issue. So it should be really easy to use for most of the people, just to put it on the body where the pain is, or where you can find in the instruction manual information on what to do for certain issues. If you want to heal the nervous system, you want to work on the hormonal system, you want to detox the liver, you name it. And most information is in the instruction manuals. And of course, you always can ask us, and we will reply the day after if you have any questions regarding how to use the tools. In short, maybe within a month or so, there will also be a private Facebook page for you where you can post all your questions, and you will get information daily, on a daily basis, if you'd like. We also have the monthly newsletter where we come up with different tips and tools on how to use our different devices.
Mm-hmm. You've listed a lot of health issues that testimonials have come in saying they've assisted with. The teeth, that does come up because there's been groups who try to regenerate the teeth. What cases have you heard about people using this for teeth, for example?
Well, I can start with myself.
Great.
Yeah, I've had some dental problems, and for example, when I have toothache, and that's really painful. What I do is I put Aquaton, a certain program, on the location of the tooth, and I do it 2, 3, sometimes 4 times a day, 5 minutes at a time. And after a couple of days, the pain is gone, the inflammation is down, and it heals. It really does. And we have one woman I know, she had a inflamed, rotting tooth, and she was due for a surgery to get it out. And she said, no, I'm going to use my quantum-based physics tools. And she did. And I think it took a week or so, or 2. And after that, the tooth was healed and she didn't need the surgery. So it works on dental problems as well.
Very interesting. Because we do this with the body, I'm certain that you get even cases of, let's say, depression or worthiness issues that could come up to be healed from this as well. It's not just physical. Have you had cases like that?
Yeah, definitely. Quite a few number, actually, because what we do, and the most important point on the body to treat with Aquaton is back of the neck. And when you treat the back of the neck, you also treat the glands in the brain. So the glands are the ones who governs, you know, things like depression and other creation of hormones. So when you treat the back of the neck, you also structure and balance the glands in the brain. And this affects and improves also depression. Because depression is also, you know, sort of illness, and it also has to do with disharmony somewhere in the body. And so when you can stabilize and harmonize the hormonal functions, this will also improve states of depression.
Very interesting. Okay, so it's a tool with the frequency that structures the water in your body.
So it structures the organs and the systems themselves so they can do the job themselves. And there can't be any side effects. That's the beauty of it, because the body can only get as harmonized as it wants to, you know. So you can only harmonize so much, then you're harmonized.
Okay, that's good to know that you cannot do this wrong. And I know that there's questions coming in when you were mentioning the brain, because we're able to get the body in this stabilized harmony in a quantum way. Certainly it could assist in clearing the pineal gland, putting the pineal gland in its optimal state.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and memory improvement, things like that is really common. People get much better memory. They get clearer in their head.
Okay, if this is allowing for the detox.
You can detox organs, you can detox systems. And the beauty of detoxing with Aquaton is that you do it gently. You do it gently for the body. And that's important when you detox, and so you don't overburden. So it's very efficient, but also very gentle way of detoxing. And you can start detoxing the intestines, then you do the liver, then you do the kidneys, and you do each organ once a day for a week at a time. And then you detox your system, and it's really good, especially at spring.
Especially in spring, yes. Well, this is a beautiful device. I want to, before we move on to the next device, I want to give Boris a chance to share a little bit about why he's so enthused about this product.
Nu Boris får du prata lite. Sorry, I needed to tell him to talk.
Jag ska prata, ja. Jag vill tillägga bara till Aquaton, säg bara att den också kan förbättra mentala förmågor genom att man kan jobba med hjärnan.
What he says is that what he loves so much is really to help people help themselves. That's really important to him. And what he's discovered during all these years is that the real problem and the real reason for ill health is on a quantum level. So that's why it's so important to work on the quantum level, on the informational level, in order to have lasting results. And also he really loves to do this because he sees how people become stronger by getting in charge of their own health by using these tools, so they can take charge. people are empowered. So I think those are the main things he wanted to tell you.
Yes, beautiful. Thank you so much. Becoming in charge of our own health, reclaiming our health with devices like this. Wonderful.
Well, it works really well.
Yes, and it's the quantum tools, quantum health tools, healing tools, allowing the body to be in harmony with the frequency that affects healing and a perfect state. Okay. There's another device. We know that the breath is spirit and that many of us do not breathe right, but there is a device called Smart Breathe that actually promotes healing through the breath. Talk a little bit about this.
Well, Lauren, I'm not sure it's going to be a little because it's a lot of information.
That's okay.
It's a little breathing device which oxygenates the cells and normalizes the body's functions. And this is a development Boris has produced himself, and he developed it after his very long experience of using various breathing methods from many different traditions. And it's a very handy little thing which enables breathing with resistance on an exhale. So it can be used for treating various ailments, but also it's a super good training device for healthy people who want to increase the lung capacity, for example. So when we talk about breathing, as you said, it's like the basis of life. And most people, even those who take really good care of their health, underestimate the enormous positive impact breathing exercises can have on the body. And also something most people think is that the deeper and the more we breathe, the better. But this is not true. We could compare it, if you imagine the nourishment for the cell being burnt up by oxygen in order to create energy, but if the oxygen uptake is poor, then combustion is insufficient and lots of waste products are created, that is, toxins. So in medical language, they call this tissue hypoxia, or lack of oxygen. And lack of oxygen is the main cause of most diseases and of aging. So what Boris' breathing method does, it improves the oxygen uptake and blood circulation. It eliminates free radicals and, importantly, it conserves energy, all which are necessary for being able to deal with health issues and for rejuvenating the body. So what it does, it strengthens the breathing capacity. It reduces stress super efficiently. It increases energy. It oxygenates the brain and other organs, and it restores health. It's very effective for asthma and allergies, for gastrointestinal problems. It strengthens the immune system. It improves blood circulation. It balances blood pressure. And it has very strong rejuvenating effects because when there is less waste products produced, there will also be more cellular energy. So maybe we should also mention when we talk about breathing how important our capillaries and blood vessels are. Our capillaries are a vital part of the body's circulatory system by which the blood transports oxygen and nutrients and hormones to the cells. So it's of absolute vital importance that the capillaries are in good health. And if there are less oxygen and less nutrients reaching the cells produce less energy and they start to cut down on their functions. So what correct breathing with Smart Breathe does is that it improves our health and also contributes to the production of carbon dioxide. And carbon dioxide is toxic in large amounts, but in tiny, tiny, tiny amounts, it strengthens the capillaries. It also improves oxygen absorption and makes the blood thinner. So that also really affects your capillary health. And what Smart Breathe does, it combines most of the characteristics associated with effective breathing techniques and something maybe a little bit technical, but it creates an air mixture containing less oxygen 19% compared to the air's 21%, and increases carbon dioxide levels slightly to 2 to 3% compared to the atmosphere's 0.03%. And importantly, the oxygen and carbon dioxide concentrations only come from our own inhaled and exhaled air. So another thing about why breathing is so important is that it is intimately connected to the nervous system. So when you inhale, the sympathetic nervous system, which regulates all kinds of activity, is activated. And as you exhale, the parasympathetic nervous system, which governs rest and recovery, is activated. So with this tool, you can adjust your breathing depending on whether you want to become more alert or more calm. And I know this is a lot of information right now on breathing, but it is the basis of life, and there are so many aspects to this. Another aspect of smart breath is that it slows down aging, as I mentioned before, because it optimizes the energy consumption in the body. And it's clear that the body functions more economically and consumes less energy at a lower pulse. So if you look at, for example, the lifetime of a rabbit with a heart rate of 250 beats per minute, his lifetime is 3 times shorter than that of a hare with 60 beats per minute. So a lower rate of cardiac contractions saves the power of the heart, which prolongs life. But most people live very stressful lives and breathe too many breaths per minute and even hyperventilate. So this speeds up the heart rhythm. So breathing with smart breath is a very effective technique to learn to breathe fewer breaths per minute and reduce the heart rate and slow down aging.
Amazing, the results that are coming in with the reduction of high blood pressure, asthma, heart issues, really quite fascinating. And again, there's research to back all of this up. How does it work? What are we doing with this device? Can you explain that?
Yeah, well, the beauty of both devices is primarily also that you can use them anytime, when you're working on a computer, when you're doing your cleaning, when you're driving your car, whatever, whenever really. And what smart breathe, how you use smart breathe is by you inhale through the nose and you exhale through the device. And when you exhale, there is a resistance to the exhale, and you exhale longer than you inhale, usually twice the time. So if you inhale 3 seconds through the nose, you exhale 6 or 8 seconds through the device. And also very importantly is that you breathe with your diaphragm. You never breathe with your upper chest, only with the diaphragm. So when you breathe in through the nose, your stomach goes out. And when you breathe out, you exhale through the device, your stomach goes in. And when this happens, you also exercise the diaphragm. And by doing so, you also exercise your lymphatic system. So that's how you use smart breathe. And you begin slowly with maybe 3 minutes twice a day, and you work up to 15 minutes 4 times a day. So when you breathe about an hour a day, and you do that every day, you will have some astounding results. We've had patients who come to us after physicians told them they had col, this really bad lung disease, and they said you have to live with this for the rest of your life. They start using smart breathe for, I don't know, was it 1 or 2 or 3 months every day, and they got rid of the disease. So there are some amazing results with using smart breathe. I use it all the time if I get stressed. If I'm driving and I think people drive too slowly, I use smart breathe and I get really calm. So it has very many wonderful effects on the body, depending on what you need. But for lung problems, that's super. I had pneumonia a month or 2 ago, and I used smart breathe, and it really helped me heal very, very quickly.
Interesting. So what does it look like then, the device?
It's really small. I sent you a picture. It's like maybe 10 centimeters long and 5 centimeters in width. It's a little rubber thing, and you can adjust the strength or the the resistance, depending on how much you want to work with your lungs. Because what happens if when you've breathed with Smart Breathe for a while, you want to increase the resistance. And when this happens, you will increase the number of alveoli on the lung walls. And this will create much, much stronger lungs. So many athletes use this tool to increase their lung capacity. But it's a very small and handy device. You put it on a string around your neck and you just use it whenever you feel like it.
Fascinating, these devices. Quite interesting.
I mean, it's also good for sleeping problems. And if you have
Yeah.
colds or concentration problems or tense muscles or hypertension. So it has many, many wonderful effects.
Yes, again, we have those for our listeners to look on our webpage here and learn more about those as well. Okay, well, I just want to thank both of you for presenting this to the world, doing your work to get it out to the world. We always love devices like this. I know we're not allowed to say too much about how great they are, but these are tools that people can use for wellness in their life and for improving the body's health and eliminating some of these illnesses. And so we thank you for that, because as testimonials come in and people use them out in the field, they will have more and more stories about how positive they've been for people. So that's beautiful.
Thank you. And just to mention also, we talked a lot about disease and ill health, but don't forget rejuvenation. I mean, rejuvenation is so interesting for so many people today. And I know that Boris, he's been using his products, of course, for many years now, and he's 71 in April, but his biological age is 43. So if you want to rejuvenate, don't miss out on this opportunity.
Thank you for that. Do you want to add anything about this special offer that we have for our listeners if they would like to put this into use in their life?
Sure. We have a very good discounted price on both devices, Aquatone and Smart Breathe. And Aquatone is usually $530, but today you will get it for $435. Smart Breathe is usually $70, but you will get it for $55. You can also get a combined offer, Aquatone and Smart Breathe, for $480, usually $600. There will also be a bonus, a new ebook called Correct Breathing for Modern People. And this is really interesting book because you will find a lot of information, not only why correct breathing is so important for your body, but there will be tips on how you can stop smoking much easier and how you can burn fat locally on the body with some interesting exercises that has to do with breathing. So it's packed with useful information. So that's our free gift to you too.
Beautiful. Thank you for that. Okay, well, as we wrap it up, I just want to give you a moment to close our circle here.
Ja, allt som du sagt, jag förstått nästan allt, så du sa korrekt allt. Så jag vill bara tacka för att vi kunde vara i den show. Tack så mycket.
He just want to say a big warm hug and thank you for having us on your beautiful show. He just want to say a warm thank you, Lauren, and I want to say thank you, listeners. Thank you, Lauren, so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for this quantum conversation and the work you bring for these tools into our world. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Lauren.
Goodbye.
Thank you for listening. If you've enjoyed this program, please share it with your friends and loved ones. And we thank you for shining your magnificent light and adding it to the world. This is when we love ourselves like no one else can. We leave you now with music from the universe. Music literally created by the universe as musical notes were assigned to mathematical equations. The result is this beautiful music available at acoustichealth.com. Namaste.